This is Inside Badger Football with head coach Trey Shucker. Financial support for Inside Badger Football is provided by Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments, the accounting firm of Turner, Rogers, Manning, and Plyler, Welch Funeral Home, Austin Wingfield State Farm, Southern Bank Corp., Chad Kesterson Shelter Insurance, Southwest Sporting Goods, Taylor King and Associates, Mary and Martha's Florist and Gifts, Price and Company, Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker, Eccles, Thompson and Kneebone, Clark County Farm Bureau, Dairy Queen, Pediatrics Plus, South Central Connect, Java Primo, Southwest Auto Collection, Midian Digital Creations, Andy's Restaurant of Arkadelphia, and Israel Word Law Farmers Insurance. The host of Inside Badger Football is Chase Hartzell.
And welcome back to Week 3 of the 2021 season of Inside Badger Football with Coach Trey Shucker. I'm Chase Hartzell, joined as always by Coach Shucker. Coach Shucker, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So today we're going to break down a pretty tough loss on the road. You're facing a really good Greenbrier team, facing them in their home territory in what was their home opener of the season, getting back in front of their home fans. They got up early, but the Badgers had a really strong second half, were able to get back into the game despite being down 3 scores. Unfortunately, the Panthers just able to do enough to stave off the comeback.
Yeah, and we knew that going into it, that it was their first home game. They were 2-0, had 2 really big wins going in, and they were going to come out jacked up, flying around, ready to play some football. And we knew the environment was going to be a tough environment. It was a big 9/11 deal. It was awesome. It was a great environment for our kids to play in and compete. And then, with the way the game went, going down a few scores, I was very happy with how we responded in the second half. I didn't see anybody with their head hung. I didn't see anybody pointing fingers or blaming on anybody. All I saw was players ready to play football and just worried about the next play. And that's what we talk about all the time. And I saw our team overcome some adversity and fight their way back into the game.
And one of the positives that really stood out in this game was the offense, really on both sides. For Arkadelphia, you're facing a defense that's allowed 13.5 points a game against 2 very good 5A opponents. Then Arkadelphia comes in and posts not only the most points allowed by Greenbrier, but the most points Arkadelphia scored all season with 47. So what went right for the offense in this game?
Well, we just really were playing at a high level. We've continually gotten better on offense over the course of the past few weeks, and we were able to string together some really good drives and get the ball into some of our playmakers' hands, and they did a great job of executing the play. I really thought it was our best week on the offensive line. Just going over the film this weekend, our offensive line graded out higher across the board than they have really in a long time. But we were able to control the line of scrimmage, and we were really able to get a lot of good things in our run game. And it really opened up a lot of things in our pass game well, so it really complemented each other Friday night with just how we were able to just complete the full play. It was 11 guys doing their job and just executing at a high level.
And then on the other side of things, you had a very efficient Greenbrier offense headed up by senior quarterback all-conference Cooper Wilcox. Wilcox did not play in the game against the Badgers the year before, but in this game he was there and he made his presence felt. What did you see as the opposing coach in that matchup?
Well, first thing I noticed was he's a great athlete. He's a great football player. Another thing is he's experienced. You can tell that he's a senior. He commands the offense, and everything goes through him, and as it should. He put up a great game Friday, and props to them for how they were able to execute and the plays that they made as well. The plays were out there, and they made them. So.
And there were a lot of great plays in that matchup, and we're going to take a look at some of them right here as we look back at last week's game against Greenbrier. So there you can see some of the pregame festivities. Paying tribute to 9/11 as well as silver medalist Kaylee Browning out of Greenbrier.
Yeah, it was a really awesome environment for our kids to play in, especially on the road. a really good battle test for us. So we got the ball to start the game. We're able to move the ball a little bit, put together a couple good plays, just get the ball out in space to our playmakers, just trying to get the defense to go side to side a little bit, and just kind of make sure that they were lined up the way we thought they were going to line up. You know, a big, strong run right there by Jay Sean Davis. We give it to him again. He gets vertical for a big play here. You know, so at this point, it's the first drive still. We're feeling good about what we're doing. We're just trying to stick to the game plan and just continue to do what we do on offense.
And this is really where the Greenbrier defense came into play. Down in their own red zone, they did a really good job here of trying to stop that momentum because the Badgers were moving the ball very well to start out this contest. Yeah,
and you know, right here we had a play that we missed. You know, we feel like if we were able to make that play, it would have extended the drive, and we could have probably moved on to maybe get a touchdown and a score, but just weren't able to sustain it. You know, our defense came out flying around the first few plays. You know, biggest thing for them is just sticking to the game plan of what we've worked on all week and getting to the football and getting the ball carrier down. You know, we knew Greenbrier's got an explosive offense as well. You know, they're not the fastest guys, but they're strong. You know, they're tough to bring down, as you see right here. They've got a big, strong running back. You know, Cooper Wilcox, their quarterback's a tough runner. You know, they're just really tough guys to bring down once we get there.
And right there you see Nick Hewitt, the senior running back, does a great job of extending the play with the footwork especially.
Yeah. You know, just all their guys, they're not the fastest guys that we've seen, but they just do things right. They don't make mistakes, and then they're just tough runners with the ball.
And here just a great play action pass to cap off a great drive for Greenbrier. And with the PAT, Greenbrier goes up 7-0, but the Badgers ready to respond right here. Here's the following kickoff, and Latonio Hughes had a really good kickoff return to start off this game, but the Panthers do a great job here wrapping him up in the open field.
Yeah, you know, there's just a couple missed assignments on our special teams. I thought special teams this week was one of the areas that we could improve on moving forward from Friday night. You know, we had a couple really good returns by Latonio. There were other returns that, you know, were just stopped because 2 or 3 people missed their assignment.
On the softball complex.
And one thing that both teams did a really good job of is that they weren't always going to hit you with the big plays, but both offenses were great at developing strong, methodical drives, and then when the opportunities arose, were able to capitalize on those big play opportunities.
Yeah, so we knew going into it, you know, we felt like we could just, if we could keep the ball moving forward, you know, those big plays would happen, you know, and that's kind of how it goes. But right here was one of those big plays of the night. It was a big touchdown strike from Donovan Witten to Braylon Bailey. Just a really good play, and we needed that play. Just a great catch. Braylon Bailey playing fast, getting behind the defense, and Donovan Witten's got the arm strength to be able to put it out there and let him go get it.
And good disruption here on the point after attempt. So it's 7-6 Greenbrier at this point. And now we'll get to see Cooper Wilcox and his offense come out on the field for their second drive of the game.
Yeah. So right here, you know, we're in a position to make a tackle. You know, we just don't. You know, that was kind of one of the stories of the night. You know, we're in position. We just got to make a play. So they had a really big return, and it put them in really good field position. When you got an offense like they have, you know, you can't give them that much field position.
And we really hadn't seen Wilcox go deep up until this point, but a great downfield pass right there.
Yeah, you know, he's got a great arm. In my opinion, he's got one of the best arms in the state, along with the legs. You know, right here, I think he ended up with 3 rushing touchdowns, but that was one of them. He can not only hurt you with his arm, I mean, he can hurt you with his legs as well.
So at this point, it's 14-6 Greenbrier. Wilcox already with 2 touchdowns in the game, but the Badgers, again, ready to go out and try to respond.
Yeah, so right here's a big play by Latonio Hughes. You know, we talk about Greenbrier's players are tough to bring down. Well, we've got a few too that are tough to bring down. Latonio is one of our faster players, and we're able to get him out and just get him the ball and let him do what he does. And then same thing right here by Braylon Bailey. You know, those two guys right there, just get them the ball and let them go play football, and not make it too hard. Just give it to them, let them go.
And the strength right there from Jay-Sean Davis capping off a good drive and getting the Badgers back within 2.
Yeah, and that was a big, strong run by Jay-Sean Davis. But, you know, looking at it, you see all 5 offensive linemen finishing their blocks and staying on blocks all the way through the play. And that's a really big thing from Friday night that we'd like to continue moving forward. You know, we had really good offensive line play, and very proud of those guys for how they played Friday night.
And here just a little screen pass, but Nick Hewitt able to turn it into something special, turning upfield and taking down just inside the 10. Not always going to be the big plays, again, like we mentioned, but they did a great job of getting those passes in the flats and turning it into something special.
That's it, and Latonio Hughes did a great job of getting to the ball and saving a touchdown right there and really giving our defense one more shot to try to get them off the field. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that, but just getting to the football is what we want everybody doing on defense. Another big return right here by Latonio Hughes. You know, big lowered his shoulder, and then this was just an unfortunate play. You know, we get the ball out. We're making I think it was the first play of the drive. You know, could have been a really good play, just ended up being a bad one.
So now Greenbrier with the ball. It's 21-13 Panthers up at this point. Good disruption there. And this was really the first defensive stop of the night. Good drive there from the Badgers defense.
Yes, and you know, they didn't have many of those. So a team like Greenbrier, whenever you get the ball back from them, you got to take advantage of it. Greenbrier is one of those teams that they're not going to make many mistakes. They're not going to put the ball on the turf. They're not going to fumble or throw it to you. So you got to go make something happen and create it.
And we haven't really talked about it a lot, but the secondary for Greenbrier did a great job of limiting Witten's opportunities for passes. But even then, Witten continued to persist and had a great game.
Yeah, and you know, just taking what they're giving you is really what we talked about all night on the sideline. You know, those big plays will come. Just keep taking what they're giving you. So that was a big run by their quarterback.
And Wilcox at this point already had 3 touchdowns in the game. Greenbrier up 28-13 at this point. But the Badgers with a great play right here to Alex Loy on the cross route. And you see the little high five there from Carter Babb heading into the end zone.
Yeah.
Just an overall excellently executed play.
Yeah, so this is just really displays Donovan's arm strength. You know, we were able to get behind the defense again. And, you know, we talk about just taking what's there, and we do that. And then those big plays will come if we just continue to take what's there. And we saw our opportunity and we took it. You know, Greenbrier, they've got a big, strong offensive line as well. You know, they're getting vertical and getting some push at the line of scrimmage. And a lot of their plays, and you know, they didn't have many plays that did not go for positive yards. You know, this was one right here that did. You know, we were able to get behind the line of scrimmage and get the quarterback down, and you know, that kind of stuff doesn't happen much to these guys.
And a good pass downfield there from Wilcox, his 4th touchdown of the first half. Now it's 35-20. Still time left on the clock, though, and Badgers have an opportunity to respond to close out the half and head into the locker room. And again, we see another strong return from Latonio Hughes getting into open space and making the most of it.
Yeah, and you know, you see him on that return. He did a great job of letting his blocks develop, and then once he saw his running lane, bursting through it and getting into the open field.
And again, we talk about that stingy secondary from Greenbrier, just making the huge play right there to force the field goal.
Yeah, you know, we felt good about this field goal going in. You know, our kicker has that distance, and we just weren't able to get it through.
So at the half, the score was 35-20, and we move on now to the second half. Following the penalty, Greenbrier backed up to about their own 20-yard line to start out the drive.
Yeah, and when you get a penalty like that, you got to take advantage of it. we saw that play quite a bit Friday, and that split flow zone action, they'll pull it and get it out to one of their players, number 8. He's one of their better players. He plays offense and defense. Just a really good athlete, physical football player.
And now the score 42-20 Greenbrier. Wilcox up to 5 touchdowns on the game at this point, but the Badgers, again, not willing to go down without a fight.
Yeah, we knew we just got to be consistent with the game plan. We were only stopping ourselves. Just be consistent with the game plan and keep playing our style of football. We'd be all right. That was one of the biggest things that I was so proud of our players for was, never backing down, just continuing to stick to the game plan, and just a big catch right here by Jay-Sean Davis, getting both feet in, just players making plays. But just stick to the game plan. We knew that we could do this going into it. We worked on it a couple times this week, and big onside kick, and that was something that we needed right here. I mean, couldn't have asked for anything better than that. I mean, there's the kick by Spencer Allen, perfect, got the second bounce hop, and then Alex Lloyd going up 2 hands and getting it was big for us. Got some more momentum going into it, and then just 2 plays later, just a big run right there by Jay-Sean Davis. So right now we're feeling like we can we've got a good opportunity to come back if we can just keep playing our style of football. That run right there just kind of displayed Jay-Sean's speed. He's a big, strong back, but give him some open room and open space, he's going to take it.
And at this point, the score is Greenbrier 42, Arkadelphia 34, following the pair of Jay-Sean Davis touchdowns. And the defense, you can start to see the confidence building as a result of this run.
Yeah. So right now we've got some momentum. We're feeling good. They're able to not connect a couple times on some deeper balls, and they're giving us the ball back. So again, we've got to take advantage of the situation because it's not going to happen many times. Big catch right there by Latonio Hughes on a long 3rd down, and then Jay-Sean Davis with another big run. He did a great job of continuing his runs and finishing all the way through.
And right there, Davis punching it into the end zone, his 3rd straight touchdown in the second half. PAT no good right here. So the score is Greenbrier 42, Arkadelphia 40.
Yeah, and those PATs are something that are in big games. You've got to have all of your PATs. That was a big tackle right there by Braylon Bailey. Cooper Wilcox is a tough runner, but that was a really good play by our safety.
And despite the amazing game that he was having, the defense did really a good job of disrupting Wilcox despite his experience and despite his talent level, able to make some big plays and force some stops here in the second half.
Yeah. So this was just a play that we wish we could have had back on the night. We were in our own territory and just weren't able to make a play. Their safety did make a good play on the ball in the air, and when you play good teams, sometimes those things are going to happen. We don't want them to, but good football programs find a way to make things happen.
And a good touchdown pass there from Wilcox coming out of a timeout on 4th down. It's now 49-40. But Arkadelphia, again, has the momentum here. A little bit of a miscue right here.
Yeah.
But a huge response here from Braylon Bailey, connecting on the pass from Witten and takes it into the end zone. And again, Arkadelphia within one possession, within a few points.
Yeah, it's that relentless effort all night long was what I was most proud of our guys.
And this was really the play that sealed the deal for Greenbrier. Wilcox just did a great job of knowing where the 1st down marker was, and he picks up a huge run, and Wilcox is going to take it in here as time expires for his 7th touchdown of the night, and that gives you your final score of Greenbrier 55, Arkadelphia 47.
Yeah. So just overall, Greenbrier is a great football team. They're top 10 in the state in 5A, and they're going to continue to win a lot of games and make a run in the playoffs. We feel like we can do the same thing in 4A. So, all of our goals are still there. Now, and what we talk about is a new season is starting for us. Everybody's 0-0 in conference, and we'll start conference play next week. And that's our main focus now. Is all of our goals are still there. If we, can continue to progress and get better, and we can achieve all of our goals still.
And you talked about continuing to fight, no matter what the scoreboard read at any point in the game. And that's really exemplifying of the Badger Spirit. And in fact, we do have a Badger Spirit Award winner for this week.
Yeah, our Badger Spirit Award winner is Donovan Witten. As a coaching staff, we collectively chose him this week for, he's our quarterback. He not only continued to get our offense going and kept us in the game, but every time the offense came off the field, he's over with the defensive guys, pumping them up, getting them ready for going out on the field and getting us the ball back. And he just did a great job of that relentless effort all night long to keep our guys going and being that leader for us.
And with the poise that he plays with, it's almost hard to remember sometimes that he's just making his third varsity start against Greenbrier, and to go up against a staunch secondary like that and throw over 300 yards, something that hasn't been done at Arkadelphia in a while. It's just very impressive performance from the junior QB.
I think he was actually 400 yards, but he did. He had a big night. It is impressive that he's only in his third start of his high school career, and he's handling it really well. I've seen improvement from week to week with him, and I can see he's just got that work ethic that he's always wanting to get better, and he's always positive. He's always looking to be the best player he can be.
And you talked about going into the new season and the conference, and as we go into that conference season, we take a look at some of the final scores from the last week of non-conference play in the 7-4A. First off, you see the score of the game we just broke down, Greenbrier picking up the win 55-47. Now we move on to Lake Hamilton and Malvern. Arkadelphia played Lake Hamilton, played them pretty well in that benefit game to start out the preseason. But here, great performance from the Wolves taking down the Leopards.
Yeah, Lake Hamilton's another one of those teams that are probably going to make a big push in the playoffs later in the year, and they're one of the bigger teams in 6A, and feel really good about where they're at right now.
And we move on. Fountain Lake on the road against Mayflower. Fountain Lake had a pretty tough start to the season. Lost 52-7 at home against Hot Springs, but they've bounced back really well in these last couple weeks, picking up a couple of huge non-conference victories. This one, 49-13 against Mayflower.
They really have. Fountain Lake, they did have that one game early, but ever since then they've bounced back and put up a lot of points. That should be a really good matchup later this season.
And then we move on. Hope taking on Ashdown. Ashdown picking up the victory in that one. Huge win over a 5A opponent, 49-27.
Yeah, Ashdown I think is averaging in the 40s every game. They've got some really good athletes down there, Shamar Easter, and along with others. But they're a type of team that they're dangerous. They are at any given moment. You can't let those guys in space. So, but Ashdown's playing really good football right now.
And then we look at Center Point versus Harmony Grove. Harmony Grove had a big win to start off their season against Jessieville. They fall in this one to a very good 3A Center Point team who's 3-0 to start out the year. 41-20 final score.
Harmony Grove is one of those big, tough football teams, but Center Point, they've made a lot of noise early in the non-conference schedule. They're 3-0 like you said, and they're playing really good football right now as well.
And speaking of making some noise by taking down a higher classification opponent, how about Robinson taking out Marion out of the 6A East for a 21-19 victory on the road, no less?
Yeah, Robinson has arguably got one of the toughest 4A non-conference schedules. They played PA, Maumelle, and now Marion, and all our bigger classification schools. But Marion's got some good things going for them this season. They feel really good about where they're at. So this was a really good win for Robinson. Robinson's going to have some really good talent. They've got Division I talent all over the field, and they're playing at a high level with the type of non-conference schedule that they've had.
And up next we have Bauxite falling to a good Newport team. 18-13 was the final score in that one.
Yeah, Bauxite, they're much improved from last year, I believe, and this I bet was a really hard-fought game. I mean, this one would have been a really good one to be at.
And then finally, we have the Badgers' opponent the next game, I should say, Nashville taking down DeQueen 41-27. Struggled a little bit early in that game against a 5A opponent who's been struggling the last few years, but a strong close there from the Scrappers.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is those final scores, and Nashville, they're going to come ready. And, it's going to be an exciting game, just the rivalry between Arkadelphia and Nashville. And, we're glad it's at our place. Nashville, they're 2-0 the past 2 weeks. And they've got some momentum going into conference play. So we're looking for a big game there.
Yep, and I had to catch myself as I was talking about that game because they actually don't play this Friday, but the following Friday we have a bye week here. Yep. Nashville's going to be coming off a bye week that week too. But for Arkadelphia, how important is this bye week, and how needed is it, going into that non-conference, or going from non-conference to that conference?
I think
schedule?
It's very, very important. We're going to use it in a sense of we're going to focus on us. We're going to clean up a lot of things that we saw through our non-conference schedule. We're going to get better at a lot of things. We're going to get better at tackling. Our special teams. We're going to keep being efficient on offense and finishing plays. The biggest thing is just focus on us. And kind of evaluate where we're at. Offense, defense, and special teams, and then get ready and get healthy for conference play. We're really not banged up right now, but if we were having this this bye week before conference is a really good week to get healthy right before you start conference play.
And the Badgers going to take on Nashville on the 24th. It's going to be a big game to start out conference play. Didn't get the chance to play Nashville last year with all that was going on with the pandemic. Arkadelphia hasn't beaten Nashville in a few years, but a big opportunity here to open up the conference season with a big win. What can we expect from that matchup?
Well, it's going to be an intense matchup. It's going to start the season, the conference season, and it's at our place, so we're going to be excited about that. And it's just a big game. It's always a big game between Arkadelphia and Nashville. It doesn't matter where it's at or what the situation is, but expect a really big matchup and a really good football game.
And so, big game coming up September 24th, kickoff at 7 p.m. at All Care Field at Badger Stadium. Nashville Scrappers coming to take on the Arkadelphia Badgers. Come out and support your Badgers, and if you can't, catch the game right here on ArkadelphiaBadgerTV.com. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the bye week, and we'll be back here in a couple weeks to break down the game against Nashville.
Hey, thanks for having me. Go Badgers.
Go Badgers.
Financial support for Inside Badger Football is provided by Blake Bell of Edward Jones Investments, the accounting firm of Turner, Rogers, Manning, and Plyler, Welch Funeral Home, Austin Wingfield State Farm, Southern Bank Corp., Chad Kesterson Shelter Insurance, Southwest Sporting Goods, Taylor King and Associates, Mary and Martha's Florist and Gifts, Price and Company, Doctors Rob and Gary Rucker, Eccles, Thompson and Kneebone, Clark County Farm Bureau, Dairy Queen, Pediatrics Plus, South Central Connect, Java Primo, Southwest Auto Collection, Midian Digital Creations, Andy's Restaurant of Arkadelphia, and Israel Word Law Farmers Insurance. Inside Badger Football is produced weekly by Ouachita Baptist University's Rogers Department of Communications and the Ouachita Sports Digital Network.